All right. And we are live.
Are you sure? It says it's loading.
I think we are live.
Thank you.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Yay.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Shall we do
Well,
like a
we
small?
make sure it's actually started on YouTube.
Yes,
Because
so like beginning of the
we
stream a bit like hectic for us because YouTube has issues. So I think we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, but I don't think we are live on YouTube. And Missy is going to handle that like a pro.
yeah. Hopefully I'm gonna post some stuff around and make sure people can still watch it in the right spots since I 2 hours ago told everybody to watch it on YouTube.
Yes,
So
this is live.
we'll figure it out. We'll get there, but it's not live yet on YouTube, so I don't think it worked. Even though it says it's all good. Oh no, it did stopped it. There you go. Thanks, StreamYard.
All right. So in this case, let's start anyway. My
Yep.
name is JLo. I'm the product manager of Home Assistant. Uh, Mike, do you want to
Oh
introduce?
yeah, I'm Mike Hansen. I'm the voice guy at Nabukasa.
And I'm Missy Corey. I'm the community and social media manager for Home Assistant at Nabukasa.
Nice. Before we start, we all work at Nabukasa. Nabukasa is a company that has been founded by the founders of Home Assistant, and its goal is to sustain the development of Home Assistant. We create a product that is called Home Assistant Cloud that allows you to connect to your Home Assistant instance anywhere in the world. And by subscribing to Home Assistant Cloud, you help us. All of the money that you basically put into the service is used to employ people like us to make the product better. That's the small pitch that we do at every live stream. I want to point out something very important because we are going to talk about voice. Home Assistant Cloud is also the perfect voice companion because we provide very high quality text-to-speech and speech-to-text server services for you. Yes, exactly. All right, so today is the announcement of the winners of the live stream.
Winners of the voice assistant contest.
Exactly, yes. Sorry, yes, the voice assistant contest. Exactly, yes. Last year, 2023, was year of the voice. We did many things. I'm not going to summarize everything we did because that was pretty big. I actually have like a small slide with like a lot of things we did. We started by allowing users to write to Home Assistant like as text. That was kind of chapter one. Then we added like a voice on top with push to talk devices like this small Atom M5 or this walkie talkie. That was chapter two. Then we went into Android for chapter three. We allowed users to use their watch and their phone as a voice assistant. Chapter four was the big one, the one that everyone was waiting. We dropped Wake Word, allowing users to actually wake device from across the room. We made devices like this or like this droid by Paul. And then chapter five, if I remember well, was the announcement of the S3 box, which was like a device made by Espressif that is fully customizable. And even this year, at the beginning of the year, even if the year of the voice was over, we did chapter six, where a contributor allowed to do on-device wake word detection on the box. Yeah, that was year of the voice. Pretty nice thing. So yeah, last year was year of the voice. At the end of the year or the beginning of this year, we reflected and we saw that one thing was missing was like a space for the community to actually shine for this, because like a lot of parts that what we build is they are enablers. They are enabling you to do more. And so we decided to create a contest to basically celebrate what our voice assistant can enable with the community as a whole. I'm going to wrap up to summarize quickly the contest because the contest is already done. But just so if you just tune in, you know what we're going to talk about. The contest basically spanned over 2 months between mid-January and mid-March. On the 15th of March, we announced the winners, and we are here today where we have a live stream ceremony with the winners. So they are here. They are not here, but they are waiting. Was five categories at the beginning. Most creative satellite ideas, like the most creative hardware, more or less. Like you saw, like the Star Wars themed droid or things like this. The best starting guide, because we know that our voice assistant today are a bit complex to start. Best event organized, so building voice assistant as a crowd, like on Hackerspace or something. and voice experience, which is all about the software that revolves around voice assistants. And then community's choice. We allowed users to, all of you actually, to vote on the best idea. Because of a lack of entry, one category was actually cancelled. We didn't have a single event. So maybe next time we will organize event. I don't know. But
I guess hackers on social or
yes. So today we have like four actually winners. We have like a most creative satellite idea, a best starting guide, a best voice experience, and we have your choice as a community. So without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to allow winners to join. I would like to see the chat going a bit wild because it's so cool that we have like community members in the chat. So let's welcome the winners. Oh, and we are so much more
Hi.
now.
Hello.
Hello, all of you. Shall we do a small round of intro? There is so many new faces. All right, I'm going to start naming people just so that we avoid the awkward silence of like who is talking. Ari.
Hi, my name's Harry. I live near Freiburg, which is located in the Black Forest in Germany. And yeah, I'm glad to be here.
All right. Lendo.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lando. In Vancouver, Canada.
Nice.
Happy to be here.
Dinky. Or Donnie, actually. Should I call you Donnie?
Yeah. I'm Donnie. I live in Louisiana in the United States. Started my home automation journey in the early 2000s and landed on Home Assistant in 2017. Happy to be here.
Nice. And then finally, Relu.
Hello, I'm Relu. I'm from Romania. I'm the author of a Visual Voice Assistant project.
Nice. Well, I'm super glad to have you all of you here. So what's going to happen right now is we are going to basically like it's going to be like your turn to speak. Like I'm going to stop talking. For the chat, for everyone that is following us or hopefully following us, Missy. Okay. I hope that everyone is on the correct platform now. So we are going to have like 4 sections for the 4 winners. They are going to make a demo of their entry for the contest. And then we are going to have some kind of live Q&A, like a chat with them about how they build it, what they build it. Feel free to drop any questions you want in any of the platforms that allows question, because we will pick questions from you if you want to participate. All right, so I will stop talking. The first one is Ari for the most creative idea.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm going to show you a little demo of my bender that I 3D printed after a model that I found on printables. You can look it up. It's the guy has built a really nice model, and yeah, I put some electronics inside, and it's an ESP and namely an ESP32 device. And I can show you how it works. If I come into the room, the wake word detection is activated, and it starts to shimmer a little the light, as you can see here. And then if I talk to him, hopefully you can hear it through the microphone. Okay, Bender, turn off main light. So I hope you could hear it. I think you could see that the light was turned off, so I'm gonna turn it on again. Okay, Bender, turn on main light. So he answers randomly with snippets from the show that I handpicked, and if there's something that he can't answer, the light changes from a bright white light to a bright red light, which I can demonstrate also. Okay, Bender, let's read a book. So, and then he answers with like a negative answer, sometimes more or less fitting Other times not so much, but yeah. Yeah, so if I change, I can also change the volume through Home Assistant, which then results in him blinking blue. And it's cool because it's actually set through an input number in Home Assistant, so he remembers the volume when he is rebooted. Yeah, so a few other things are like when I earlier when I entered the room, he said something, but that was too annoying, so I had to turn that off. Now he's only insulting me why I'm not at work. I can show you. Did you hear that?
Mhm.
So yeah, something like that. Nothing really useful, but it's funny. Yeah, so that's it. Well, maybe I can show you
Yeah, let's see inside.
the container inside. I'm not good with the cables, so
None of
there's
us
a
are.
lot of cables inside. But there would also be a lot of space for something else, like a bigger speaker or stereo speakers, or I don't know, a lot of stuff. So that's it essentially.
All right, that's super cool. I'm just going to remove Bender for now so that we see us bigger. I have so many questions. I will just start, but I also want to allow others to actually talk. Let's start by a simple question. This is ESP based?
Yeah, yeah.
Then how do you do like the random responses? Because that's pretty nice.
Sorry, come again, please.
Sorry, how do you do like the random answers from the
Okay. That's pretty simple because there's this little device called a DF Player Mini, and you can put a micro SD card inside where you can save all the samples that you get from the show, and then you can play them back pretty easy. So yeah, and that the DF Player Mini is directly connected to the speaker.
Okay.
So if you had been able to, would you have trained a custom voice to speak back?
For sure. Someone in the community posted in my thread, and he said something about paying for John DiMaggio for 1,000 cameos. That would be pretty nice, but I think it would be also pretty expensive.
I think so. Yeah, people have asked, of course, for Paul Bettany too, for Jarvis, and then I don't think we're at the scale where we could afford such things. And also, I mean, I think you could probably train it for your personal use, but we can't obviously host stuff that's trained off of copyrighted material, unfortunately.
I'm waiting for OpenAI actually, because 15 seconds of audio material.
Oh yeah.
But they're not gonna release it anytime soon, I think. Yeah.
What about the wake word? Where did that come from?
The wake word comes from Piper.
Or you mean from Open Wake Word?
Open Wake Word, I'm sorry, yeah. Open Wake Word, sure. And that was also pretty easy to train. And I had I wasn't quite sure how it was working because, yeah, you maybe noticed that I'm not a native English speaker. So, yeah, but it works pretty well. He understands me in almost every time.
Yeah, so, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you trained it, or it was a custom one already trained by someone?
I trained it. But
Nice.
I think that there was in the community there was a tutorial or something.
Yeah. So for folks who aren't aware out there, there are kind of two wake word technologies that we have now in this space. We have one that runs on the devices like this ESP32 S3 Box 3s. Very, very rough name to say over and over. But it's much harder to train, and so there are a few wake words like OK Nabu and Hey Jarvis. But another one, the one that actually came first, is called Open Wake Word, and that works. It runs on your Home Assistant, and your device streams audio to it, and it's much easier to train. It takes about an hour. You go through a tutorial, and it actually does it based off of fake audio samples that are generated from Piper. So Piper is our text-to-speech system that generates a whole bunch of samples of somebody saying the wake word over and over and over in lots of different voices. So yeah, you can train your own for a cool robot like this. Be cool if you drank the beer too, but.
I think there's actually a guy who made up a GitHub repository where you can upload your wake words, and I already did that, and there are already a lot of them.
So if you want to do it, like if you want to train your own wake word, You can go to documentation, voice, and then you go to wake word. And there is a topic about creating your own wake word, and then you can read it more or less. But everything happens on a environment more or less, which is a notebook made by made by the creator of Open Wake Word, and I forgot the name, Mike.
David Skripka.
Exactly, and you just put the word that you want. So okay, Bender for example, and then you run through the steps. Takes, I don't know, 1 hour, sometimes a bit more, and at the end you get a file, and this file is your wake word. Just put it on a custom repository, which is also in our tutorial. You put it somewhere. Like how to add your personal wake word. At the end, you get a file which is a TF Lite file, a TensorFlow Lite file, and you put it somewhere, and that's it. You have your custom wake word, which is pretty nice.
So yeah, awesome job. Love Bender.
Thanks.
I think.
Do we have? Let me check. So the chat is pretty thin for now because we still don't have YouTube. But it's fine.
Point it over to X/Twitter, whichever one you want to call it right now. So yeah, that's one of the things. We're getting a few comments overall on it being broken on YouTube. But for those of you who do watch it on YouTube, we'll upload the recording probably tomorrow once it's done. So you can still watch it on YouTube after the fact.
I still have some questions, but I think that's so the on ESP-HOM itself, you just get the. You don't use the. How do you trigger the custom answers more or less? It's just like the event on something like on intent. And
yeah, exactly. On TTS, I'm not quite sure, but if you want, I can show you.
I mean, why not? It's interesting anyway.
Okay.
So my question was, my first question was, how do you change the volume? But that's just the box that you're changing. It's not on. Is it on ESP-HOM that you also change the volume?
Yeah, I changed the volume on the ESP when the input number in Home Assistant is changed. Then it gives it to ESP-HOM.
Cool.
So just a second, I'm gonna share the tab. So
can you put it narrower and zoom so that we can see, because here it's very small.
I'm trying to zoom. Whoops.
Yes, and also it's cool.
Yeah.
And if you can put your screen either taller or narrower, one of the two. Yeah, perfect.
Like this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here that's the code, and you were asking
the volume. Yeah.
The volume. I think that's somewhere down there.
So yeah, this is the YAML that gets fed to ESP-HOM and gets flashed onto the actual little chip.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I programmed a few Arduinos in my days and a few ESP 8266, but it's so easy with ESP-HOM. It's the best. So here, that's the text sensor, and he gets automatically updated when I change the input number Bender volume in Home Assistant, and then it sets the DF player to the specific volume.
All right.
And yeah, so the voice is triggered. Wait a second. Where is it? So on STT end. So when the speech to text end, he's going to reset the LED, and on TTS start, he's making Bender speak.
Nice. I was going to ask you like how you. I was going to ask you how you detect that it's an error, and
yeah, it's pretty simple. By yeah,
I think it's the only way right now, right, Mike? Because we don't get the structured data of the intent on ESP-HOM yet.
No, but that's actually a good thing to potentially add, whether or not it was an error message or a message that you wouldn't expect right now. And we have new errors So I guess as long as you look for sorry at the start, because we usually
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, I had to change it yesterday because I had him. It was set up in German, so I changed it. I had to look the answer up, but it was pretty easy to change it. So yeah,
Cool.
no problem.
And now is this code all up on the forum topic?
No, it's not. It's
Or
not.
you have a repo somewhere or something?
Well, I could share if
Oh,
people like.
okay. I didn't know if it was I'm sure people would be interested if just at least to
Sure,
take a look
sure.
if you don't mind.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, I cleaned it. I also cleaned it up from. I had Wi-Fi passwords hard coded. So
Oh yeah.
I already cleaned it. That would be no problem to post it in the.
That
thread,
would be nice. That would be
Okay,
nice.
yeah. So on the Home Assistant forums, there's actually a voice assistant contest topic, or section. I don't know what the vernacular is for
Category is technically what-
category. How many words
la-
can we have?
Last question for you, Ari, because this one is coming from LinkedIn and it's interesting. What do you use for? Well, I mean, for text to speech, you don't do text to speech. You just randomly pick a sentence from the show. But for speech to text, what do you use?
I use Google STT.
Okay.
At first, I tried to use what is it called?
Whisper.
Whisper, exactly. And I first tried it when I still was on the Raspberry Pi, and it wasn't working that good. It took a little longer, and Google was way faster than that. So I changed, but now I'm on a way faster hardware. I could try it again with Whisper probably.
I'm not sure
Okay.
how good Whisper is for German. Yeah, it's kind of after English, it really falls off in
Okay.
quality. There are some alternatives though. But
Missy, I hammered the button of YouTube since 20 minutes, and I think we are live.
Ooh.
hello,
Right?
YouTube.
Just
Oh,
let's
live
check, but I think we are live on
Wow.
YouTube. Hello.
It's funny. It still says it's broken here in our program that we're using for streaming everybody together. It still says it's broken.
I just got an email that told me it's live, so they figured it out. I guess
Interesting.
turned it off and on again. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
So should I
think
start
it's
over again?
Hi, I'm Mike Hansen.
I think it's fine. Like this happens, right? I mean, people will catch up anyway. It's fine. All right. Thank you very
It's
much.
all YouTube's fault, not even our fault.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's funny anyway. So give me a sec. All right. So that was the first one. Thank you, Ari. If we have more questions at the end, we will ask you the questions anyway. I just want to also give a big kudos to all of the runner-ups for this category, the most creative ideas. We are not going to go through all of them. I just want to mention the fact that it was an amazing job, and it was actually one of the most complex categories to actually pick winners because there was a lot of entry. So kudos to all of you for all of the things you did.
And for people who are interested, if you do check out that voice assistant contest category on the forums, I think all of these have YouTube videos or something
Right.
you can check out.
Yes. They are also mentioned on the blog post also, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, we have a blog.
Yes, we have a blog post, yes. So that's cool. And now I see that we are live and we gained twice as many viewers. So that's pretty nice. All right. So the next one is Lando for the best starting guide. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen and I will put you in big. Where is Lando? Not
Hey.
you.
So I'm presenting my device home thing. So this is T-Display S3 case that I made. And then also inside we have a PCB and a scroll wheel and a couple buttons. And then of course, inside there's also a microphone hidden kind of back here. So I can do a quick demo. I don't have wake word because I haven't gotten around to it, but I'd love to get around to it. So my device right now is just push to talk. So if we hold this button on the side, I'll say bright lights, bright scene. There we go. Yeah. And so also on the screen, if I can get it to focus, we have media player control. So that works kind of like an old iPod. So that's controlling media players hooked up to Home Assistant. So it'll work with Spotify, Sonos, TVs, and then also I have other screens for controlling stuff like switches, so I can turn my oven fan on and off, and then also stuff like lights. So you're able to go into this menu using this button, and then I can control each light individually, or change the color and stuff like that. That's pretty much it for a quick overview demo. There's a bunch more going on. This whole project is open source. So I have a project on GitHub, which you can check out if you're interested in building the project. Hopefully,
What's the URL of? I mean, you can just search for Homething, right? I guess.
Yeah. So it's GitHub/Landon/Homething. And so if you're interested in starting from, not really from scratch, but building this yourself, ordering the parts, I'd recommend starting here. I should also point out that the code works on a bunch of different hardware. So you can buy products from M5 Stack or LilyGo and get the code working. So you don't actually have to build a device. You can just buy stuff off the shelf. And so that's kind of the hardware side. The code side, I've been working on for quite a while. And so the reason this all kind of exists is because my TV remote died and I wanted to be able to stop music and turn the TV on at the same part, with the same case, or remote. And so I started working on that. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
It's okay.
Totally lost my train of thought there.
So after you were unable to train the cat to do all of these jobs, you started using a different device, right?
Yeah. So there's a bunch going on. So originally it was just kind of an iPod, and then working with some friends, they wanted to use it for other stuff besides just controlling music. So we got lights working. And then after that, a friend really wanted to get voice assistant working because it's a wireless device. Since it's on a remote, it's pretty easy to carry around and speak voice commands to. So that whole story ended up being a long process of trying to find different mics that work with ESP Home and getting them to hook up, getting documentation right so other people are able to pull it and get it started. And then finally, once it kind of worked and I got a sentence to read back into Home Assistant, it was pretty magical and everything kind of started working. And then code side for that. So when I do a voice command, I'll send that over to Home Assistant. And then getting back, I get back voice command success or voice command fail. And so I added notifications to the software so you're able to see what's going on with Home Assistant. Or with voice assistant when it's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you don't say anything, it'll show an error. And then this one doesn't clear automatically, so you have to press a button to clear it.
And if you get text back, you display the text back, right?
Yeah. So I can
meaning that even if you don't have speaker, you could ask technically like what's the temperature in my living room, and if you have the correct sensor, it will display like 22 degrees, for example. Right?
Yeah. I don't know if I've tried that. What's the temperature in Vancouver?
No.
Oh, I don't have a weather sensor set up for that.
You could ask how many lights are on in a room, and
yeah, how many lights are
how many? Yeah. Oh. Play music. How many lights are on in the living room?
One.
Great.
So I have a question. I followed your project for a pretty long time, and I always wanted to ask you this question. What's your voice setup? Because I never seen a voice setup that fast. Do you use Home Assistant Cloud or do you use something else?
Oh yeah, no, it's Home Assistant Cloud. Yeah, with voice assistant.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because like we don't have the speech to text part, the text to speech part, like the answer, but it's so fast. Like, and also we don't have the wake word, so you press the button. But I always find that your device is very snappy when you talk to it.
Yeah, it's great to do demos because I mean you can see like color scene, color scene. Color scene. If it can actually understand me. The thing with it, the voice, push to talk, sometimes you can get in the way where it's sending a request back and you're trying to send a new request.
Yep.
I think that's on my side, and I can fix that with the code.
I think I mean, we were just talking about this morning, Jayla. I think the end of speech command detection that we have right now is not as good as it could be, and the push to talk kind of avoids that, right? Because when you let go of the button, it just knows, oh, you're done. It doesn't have to wait for silence.
I started with the walkie-talkie. And
Oh,
even
yeah.
when I look back at the videos of the walkie-talkie, I find it less snappy, but also because the walkie-talkie is replying to me, and I always have a bit of delay until the stream is actually replying to me, etc.
Okay.
But I always find that your remote is actually super fast. Like, it's crazy.
This is a question for you guys, I guess. When I do voice assistant command, that sends over to my Home Assistant server. Does that send out, or does the speed of my Home Assistant server matter?
A little bit, but if it's going to Home Assistant Cloud, it's more about how close you are to an Azure data center. So maybe you're like right next to one.
I have like 2 millisecond ping. Yeah. So.
Okay. So. Yeah, and this, well, on a phone or something, when you're remote, it actually does the same thing. It sends to your Home Assistant server first, and then goes up to the cloud or the local or whatever. So you can use it as it's like a VPN tunnel up to there.
We have a question. What's the battery life like?
Could be improved. So you can pick a bigger battery if you want more battery life. I find it gets about a day until I have to charge it again. The screen turns off by default, I think, like after 10 seconds to try and improve the battery life. We have some ideas on being able to improve the battery life by turning Wi-Fi off. For me, I have it sleeping after 4 hours, and then also I expose the sleep as a switch. And so whenever I leave my apartment, it's part of my turn off everything script to turn off all my remotes. And so that definitely helps with improving battery life. So it's off kind of when I wanted to. But for improvements, I've been working with someone else to, in the Home Assistant Home Thing Discord, to get a battery charger, fuel sensor on board on the PCB, because I think that would be a huge improvement, because I don't think there's any device like that for sale right now. And I think it would help the ESP Home stuff that's portable. So we're working on battery life. That's like a top priority.
If you plan to put the device in deep sleep, like completely shutting off Wi-Fi, etc., how do you plan to wake it up when you pick it up?
So, right, because when you go into deep sleep, you'll have to disable Wi-Fi, reconnect to the API. So the idea is to either do some work on ESP Home to just read a state instead of subscribing to it. So if I enter a menu, I can just look at the state and not worry about unsubscribing to it, because right now Home Thing will subscribe to something like 50 states on boot, which ends up being pretty resource intensive. And then I think that would work in combination with actually just disabling Wi-Fi and not sleeping. And so then the API, we would have to handle it timing out, but it should be able to not crash when it doesn't have Wi-Fi.
On a very old scrappy project, I think I still have the part there, but I'm not going to start looking for it because it will take me 15 minutes. But I was using a very small vibration sensor that I it was a very small component with a small screw where you can change the sensitivity. Yeah, and when I was picking the device, it was always vibrating because I was picking it up, and this is how I was leaving the deep sleep state directly on the device. That was working pretty well. And then I was picking the device, and after like 5 or 10 seconds, everything was connected back to the to Home Assistant, etc. Some people are suggesting gyroscope on the chat, which is kind of the same thing, like having a sensor that is waking the device itself on the device. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So for somebody who's not super technically inclined, but they still want to make one of these, how would they get started with that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different avenues to do this. Right now, I set up a store so people are able to buy directly from me. That store will start shipping in May.
Cool.
because I need to get an estimate on how many parts to order and then order them, so stuff doesn't end up waiting to ship for forever. So homething.io is the website. I put that in the chat.
I mean, for me, I think this is like one of the coolest things about ESP Home and the ESP Home project is like having that foundational software there, so people can make products, make open source things, and we don't have to start from scratch, and we can all like make cool stuff together. I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool too, in my Discord, seeing the different uses of the different devices. And so someone's setting up a display just for their 3D printer in the past week. And so people are sharing their own custom prints of the device, and they're getting the circuit boards directly from PCBWay because you can buy them from there too.
Mm-hmm.
And so the project is kind of taking its own life with other people's designs. So even on the GitHub, if we go here, we can see someone's made a case with a massive battery and added it to the project. So
is this in a separate tab or?
Yeah, we see only the tab.
There we go.
Yeah. So I just clicked the link from the previous page, and this is some info on building a home thing with an older T display, which doesn't have voice assistant because it doesn't have enough memory. But yeah, there's a case someone added with a huge battery.
I wonder, so what I see that because the ESP is built into that display too. Okay, that's why. You couldn't swap it out for like an S3 or something.
Unfortunately, no. Yeah, no. They do sell the S3, which is what we're using now, though.
Mm-hmm.
How many remotes do you have at home then? On your production environment, I mean, sorry, how many do you use?
Yeah, I can share that, yeah. So to keep track of it, I have a screen called remotes.
You have a remote dashboard.
So I think there was a conversation earlier about entities that don't exist for forever, and maybe that would help. But when I make a device, I'll test it out, and then sometimes I'll forget to remove it. But then in my actual ESP Home, ones that are home thing related. So this one is hooked up to my cat wheel, so I can track how fast he's going. This one is for plants.
Hold on, a cat wheel is a thing?
I might as well show that. This is pretty fun. Yeah. So
go ahead. And why is doing that? I'm just nice. you have way too many projects.
This is awesome.
Oh my god, the cat wheel is so big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A little bit of exercise and you get your treat.
Sorry, I was away from the mic there. So what I showed is home thing hooked up to the cat wheel. There's a read sensor plugged into the home thing. So when the cat Corbin runs on the wheel, after the template says it's true, it'll set off the cat feeder, which is also plugged into ESP Home.
That's great.
Now I need a cat.
Cat not included? Oh man, that's how they get you.
There is this question: how long the listening is active when you press the button? But I think it's press to talk and then release to send the command. No.
Yep. So press the. Did I press?
You didn't press the right button.
It's quite hard to do this from now on. There we go. Listening.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to get it in focus. Yeah, it's listening as long as I'm holding the button.
Yeah.
Right when you let go.
It's the real push to talk. The OG one, the first one that we released, which is you push, you talk, you release, you send the command.
Yeah, like a walkie-talkie.
Actually, yeah.
And so you have it has an IR infrared emitter too, right? So this could control old school devices and.
Yeah. So I have IR blaster on the front, and so I made a ESP Home switch that will send the command when it's on or off for a strip light that I have somewhere else. And then also I have a cat toy somewhere that the batteries were watch batteries and they kept dying. So I recorded the commands from the cat toy remote, and then I put it on a home thing. So now I only have to charge this remote.
Does the home thing learn too, or?
That would be a great improvement. No, I had to have an IR blaster plugged in and then copy the strings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just curious.
All right. I don't think I see other questions except the fact that it's so cool and that everyone is very, very interested about that. So I guess that we can go to the next contestant. Again, for the best starting guide, we had a few kudos, mostly in the form of tutorial videos that I know that a few of us really like. So kudos to all of you for your work on the best starting guide section. And we have a cat now on the stream, which is perfect.
I want to say for some of these runners up, they're like
too bad.
I guess so. The Future Proof Homes has a really cool set of videos on. He's using Raspberry Pi based satellites, and he's also doing some local AI stuff. So if you're interested in that, go check his stuff out.
Yeah.
And Thorsten Mueller, he's been an awesome contributor for years to open source voice. His German voice you'll hear all over the place with the open source text to speech. His tutorials are very much like focused on beginners and stuff. So I'd highly recommend if you're wondering like foundationally how do I get started. He's got a good series for that.
And also there is an interview of you, right?
Oh yeah, he's got an interview of me. I don't know if I'd recommend that. It's just more me.
All right. So the next one, it's best voice experience by Donny. What should I do? Should I share your screen directly, Donny?
Yeah, if you can.
All right.
Okay, so my project is called View Assist. Basically, that's a play that you can view the feedback that Assist is giving you when you ask it questions, or it provides you other feedback. What you see here is 3 different devices. Of course, you wouldn't have all these in the same place, but you can imagine that you would have this, one in different rooms of your house. This may look familiar. It's modeled after the commercial voice assistants by Amazon. And part of the reason is to keep it friendly for the family as far as the familiar look, and also because it was easier for me to not have to design a lot of these things initially. The top right, you can see one of the displays that's in a cycle mode. Basically, you can set an automation and tell it what views you want to go through. So maybe in the morning you want to see the weather and the traffic and other things, and you'll have it in that mode, so you can have that to start your day. And then the other devices, the one on the top is just going to be here to show you how these things all operate independently from each other. That's one of the improvements that I've done, that when you call one, depending on what you do, it'll either just show up on there or it can call to the other one. So that's the setup. And if you've seen my video, this will probably be very familiar, but I've done a lot of stuff in the backside for this independence, and that's really where the improvements have happened since the demo. So I'll go ahead and start and do a few things. But this device here is an all-in-one. It has a speaker and 8-inch display on it. It's a really nice unit. It was not the easiest thing to set up, but a really cool device. So anyway, and a word of warning: I will say the OK Nabu wake words. So
sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. It may make your devices go crazy if you have that going on at home. Okay. OK Nabu, how's the weather?
It's 80 degrees and rainy.
So this will show the weather from a local weather station, and it'll give you a little bit of feedback. And after a short time, there's a configurable configurable timeout that will go back to a given screen. In this case, it's the clock, because that's one of my gripes with the Echo devices, is that you'd look over there and it wanted me to watch viral videos instead of knowing what time it was, and that was a pretty big thing in driving this project. So OK Nabu, show all cameras.
Showing all cameras.
Of course, it's going to give some errors, but this never happens. But it's happening now, and what it will show is all the cameras around the house with live views. And this is one of the things that my wife had wanted me to do for a long time, and I was never able to figure out how to do it. But it's really easy to do it with Home Assistant, where you just set up a card with views, and you call with a custom sentence, and it'll switch over to these views. Okay, Nabu. Broadcast. This is a test.
This is a test.
So this is part of the demonstration that I was saying. So this will broadcast to all of the devices in the house that are in the group of the visual assistants, and it'll show the text so that if you miss hearing it, or maybe you're hard of hearing, you can look over and see what that message is, and then it will go back to the default that it was doing before. As you can see, the one on the top is back in the cycle mode, and we'll continue to go through those processes. Another quality of life, and this is from the video too. Okay, Nabu. Washer demo.
Washer is done.
So this will let you know that the washer is done. But what's different about this is, if you can see, and it might be hard to see, but in the top right corner, there's a little icon that shows a washer, and it'll show you how long it's been since the washer has completed. Yeah. So this will keep you from having, the moldy clothes left overnight or whatever. It'll be a constant reminder that needs to be seen about. And I have an automation set that when the clothes is put in the dryer and the dryer starts, that this will go away automatically, so you don't have to attend to it. But it is a reminder, and I've used it a couple of times since putting that in place. Okay, okay, Nabu. Mute. I'm going to play some audio here, and I want to respect the copyright, so I'm muting the audio.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Nabu. Play banana pancakes. So this will call it says Music Assistant, and it'll search for the song, and this is being played off of Spotify, and I can assure you that it is playing the music in the background. So it'll sit here and it'll show you the screen, and it'll play the music. Okay, Nabu. Show clock. So this is no surprise, right? It shows the clock. But the thing is, when you're we've switched over to music mode, so you can make a call and it will switch over to the different view. But after that timeout, it will go back to the music playing, and you'll see that the music is playing again too. So you're not limited as far as what it goes back to. You can configure these things exactly like you want it to be. Okay, Nabu. Stop music. So you can stop the music with voice, and then it goes back to the normal mode. And anytime that something happens, it'll go back to this clock screen. So I could use voice to unmute, but you can also do things like this, where you can just go ahead and press the tablet, and it will do that for you. And there's other buttons and stuff associated with it too. If you click here, you can go over to the weather, and it's really your imagination and your amount of willingness to put into changing these views and making them dynamic to be able to do these things here. So a couple more things, and then I'll stop talking. Okay, Nabu. Show shopping list.
Here's some of the items on your shopping list: breakfast bars, onion, bell pepper, bread, eggs.
So here's one of the issues that I have, is that the timeout is not perfect when it comes. I made a call too fast, and it went back to the screen. But you could see that it goes to the screen with the info, and it shows you the list of it. And using the built-in sentences, you can add things to the shopping list. You can't remove things from the shopping list. Apparently, that's not an item yet, and I've tried, and it seems case dependent. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time in doing that. I figured one of you guys will figure out the best way to do that and provide that to me.
We figured people would be out there at the app removing them in the store or something.
I feel
well, there's that too. But I have kids that like to add things that we don't necessarily want to buy for them. So Okay, and then finally, okay, Nabu, what's for dinner?
Yum. These look tasty.
Here we go. So if you notice, at the top of the screen, there's a little hand icon that shows up, and that puts it in whole mode. In whole mode, it won't automatically go back to the clock. So now you can stay on this screen, and you can click on a recipe or whatever it is that you want, and scroll around in it and do whatever you like, and it'll stay on that screen until you come back and take it out of whole mode. Or if you want to, you can use voice and to set the mode back to the normal mode. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, you can tap on the little washer if you want to, and it goes away on all the screens. So yeah, short of that, that's pretty much it. I did add a night mode just yesterday. Basically, all that does is dims the screen and the clock so that you could put it in a dark room, which is another use case that we have for it, to be able to actually put these things into service around the house.
Nice.
Someone asked, can you target the music or message to a specific display?
Technically you can, but I have not gotten that far with it. I know the folks with the music assistant are doing a bunch of stuff with voice. I've talked to them a bit about it, and hopefully that'll be easy to integrate. But there's really no reason that you can't. Anything that you can write a custom sentence for, you can. View Assist knows what device is calling, and it knows what device it knows its music device, its media player device, and it knows what its display device is, what browser it's on, and then it'll just automatically show up on that screen. So if you wanted to extend it to send it to another one in the group, then you could. But I have not written that part yet.
I think the not simplest, but maybe the most usable way would be to target the device that are on a specific area. So you can say things like stream dinner is ready in the bedroom, for example, because you are in the living room and you know your kids are in their bedroom, or things like this. That would be. This is like super complete. Like I think I have like already so many questions.
Yeah, and you mentioned that too. So I have started work on a Do Not Disturb portion as well, where you can put it in Do Not Disturb, so that when the broadcasts happen, if you're taking a nap or like you're saying, you might have a baby or something, and you don't want that. Yeah. You don't want that broadcasting in that room, then you can set those devices to Do Not Disturb and do it. It's just a matter of time to be able to finish all that stuff, and adding things in and out of groups was a struggle for me to figure out how to do it. But I think with the tags, I'll be able to do that easier.
It's interesting because like I feel that adding a screen is adding so much complexity, and you have so many use cases to think about, like streaming on different rooms, Do Not Disturb, night mode. I mean, night mode, I guess that's the first time you put this kind of device on your bedroom, you're like, oh, okay, this is not working. I need a night mode. Like, this right? Like as soon as you start napping and one of your kids is streaming, it's like, okay, I need a Do Not Disturb mode. That's mandatory also. It's actually very interesting to see like all of the things you need as soon as you have a screen. But you already did so much. Like I had so many questions, but you already covered them. Like, can you discard notification by clicking on them? Yes. This is actually pretty nice. One question: how do you? It's actually just for my curiosity, because that was very fast, like way too fast. When you say like play Banana Pancake, how did it find the song so fast?
It's using a service called a music assistant, and it's just passing that variable to the search for music assistant, and that's it. It starts playing.
What sort of hardware is your music assistant running in an add-on with your Home Assistant on like a?
It's a Docker. It's a Docker container. I'm running a containerized Home Assistant, not cool. Home Assistant OS.
All right. So
it's the same.
Yeah. So these tablets, which I'm sure people are gonna. Maybe you've already said what exactly were the tablets? What piece of hardware?
Yes. So basically e-waste, right? As far as the this one here, this is a tablet from 2015 running Android 5. Whoa. And the other device is a 2019 Amazon Fire 7, and then this device here is a ThinkSmart, Lenovo ThinkSmart. This device is both fantastic and terrible, all in the same sense.
Can you show it a bit, because we don't see the fact that it's one unit, and it's actually interesting to see the speaker on the side, etc. Can you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I can try. Let's see if I can slide it over.
Yeah, so it's like a one. It's one unit that was created.
Yeah, it's one unit, and it has a nice sounding built-in speaker to it. And the real kicker is that this thing is $40 on Amazon with the 8-inch display and the built-in speaker. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was in the actual voice contest post that I made that someone said, hey, it would be really cool to put it on this device, which some guys on the forum had. There's a huge thread. Matt Mon posted this thing, and there's different versions of Android that you could run on this device, but none of them are perfect. But the one that's on here now is pretty stable after a bit of effort to get it stable. And I did order another one, and my intent is, and don't hold me to this promise, but my intent is to make a video flashing it and showing folks how to do that and how to set it up. If they want to replicate this, you can certainly do it. But yeah, it's a really, really cool device, and it's clean. I mean, you can see this tablet is fine, but it's got a cable sticking out of the side of it. You know, this looks like a commercial product, and it is.
Someone said not $40 after this stream. It's going to be sold out. That's what happened.
It might be.
I was actually just hopping over to Amazon. I'm like, crap, I should order mine now. And I see it is still $40. So
yeah, I do have a wiki page that has a bunch of information on the various tablets and some of the settings and stuff that I hope to expand on. You know, really the goal of this is not so much, you know, just for me to use it. And some of the stuff that I did in doing the cards and all this stuff was trying to be mindful of other people using it. I don't know a whole lot about CSS, but I know a lot more than I did when I started. And basically what I tried to do is to make things as generic as possible and use percentages versus pixels, so that whatever you wanted to put this on, if you wanted to put it on a phone and you could scale it, you know, you could scale the sizes, you probably could do that. I had some people reach out to me, and they're using it on their TVs. They were able to use Cast to put it on their TVs, and it's really cool. And I see this as a way for other folks that are a lot better at doing things than I am to take this and run with it and share it with the community, so that we all can benefit from it.
yeah.
Donnie, if you want to share one link, it's your GitHub page.
Yeah,
So
and particularly the wiki. Yeah, and I'm a bit behind as far as adding the stuff on it. I was trying to prepare for this and try to have something nice to show you guys, but after the live stream, in the next few days, I'm hoping to add a whole bunch more to it and make it easier for folks to follow. But what's on there is easy enough to follow. It doesn't handle the multiple screens. But I have had several people reach out to me to say, hey, yeah, I use your GitHub, and I have it set up, and I'm doing this or that. Discord, fantastic. You know, there's people reaching out and wanting to do things. One guy reached out to me and said he's got his phone notifications and stuff that show up on the screen, and someone else said that they had something that was a what do you call it? Basically, it asked you questions, and you could answer those questions, or you could make it play a game, kind of thing, because it was interactive. And that's something that is worth exploring. And the more people that would want to do things like this, to me, would be really cool that we would have a place to share all of these. Kind of like not it wouldn't be as easy as the commercial ones where they have app stores and you can install apps, but maybe that's pie in the sky. But it would be really cool that if Mike or Ray Lou or somebody made something, that we could just import that in, with some modification, and then extend the capabilities of our devices.
It feels like we could like use this same kind of stuff to put it on people's like smart fridges and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
that it'd actually be on their touch screens for that. I see several people asking if you can do the same stuff on the Google Nest or the Echo devices or any other stuff. Like, can we actually set this, the stuff that you set up on any of those devices?
I don't really know, but I know that the guy that was doing it on his TV was using Cast to send it to his TV. So I would assume that you could. Yeah.
No, it needs more than just the web browser, right? There's something else on there, or is it mostly the web
Okay.
browser?
So that's the thing too, right? So I have this. This is because I had these devices handy. You don't. All you need is a web browser,
Okay.
and that's it. It's using a browser mod to do this stuff, and browser mod will expose the media player and the not the microphone. Yeah, and you have to have some kind of way to be able to get the mic over to your to Home Assistant to be able to do the process.
Okay. I mean, that's
Pretty simple too. If you can find something that'll broadcast RTP or whatever it is, I can't even remember what it is that's being used. I'm leveraging a whole bunch of other people's videos, guides, everything to piece all this stuff together. And so I certainly can't take credit for everything that's on here.
But it sounds like at least it doesn't need a full app. So there is hope that perhaps it could run on one of these other devices. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, the hope would be that Home Assistant Companion would be able to pass audio and around like that, because that would greatly simplify the thing. And have Wake Word on Android would be another dream of mine as far as
I think
being able to do that.
we already said it, that it's also part of something we want to do. We are for now we are struggling with contributors on Android. We don't have a lot of contributors on Android, but it's something we want to do. We actually had a proof of concept a few months ago that we decided to wait until releasing because it was not ready, but it's something we want to do. Yes. Having Wake Word on Android, especially for tablet, old phones, like you have a phone, you don't use it anymore, you just put it landscape, and that's now your. And with your project on top of it, now you have all of the UI experience on top of it. That would be nice.
Yeah.
If you're looking for beta testers, let me know.
Definitely coming soon.
Yeah. So there is this question, which I think is simple. What was the hardware? I guess it's any Android tablet, right? Like it's anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, low end tablets. I'm sure probably work on an iPad. Just about. I mean, an old what do you call it? Laptop. Just about anything. If you can have a display, a browser display, then you can connect to it. If you can get the audio back to it. But yeah, these are all Android tablets is basically all it is. Doesn't take much.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, I have one question. What happens if you say a command? Sorry, coming back. So there is few commands that are triggering some specific screen to be displayed. For example, we say what's the weather, then there is the answer, the spoken response, but there is also a screen. What happens if you just say turn on the light or anything that you didn't code specifically, like any specific command? Do you have a default screen?
Yeah, so for now it will do that, but it will not give you any visual feedback when it comes
Okay,
to
so it's just the regular this screen more or less and nothing more.
Okay, Nabu, turn off the living room lights.
Turned off the lights.
Okay.
Yeah. So it works, but it just doesn't. So ideally, I would like to be able to show the screen that shows the lights, the living room groups as a light bulb and show that it's off. But that comes with my wish list as far as maybe you guys can expose that as an event or something like that we can digest and be able to use that information. I've looked at doing it, but it's a bit complicated for what what I was looking at. And again, I was focused on getting some other stuff done too. So if someone knows how to do that easily and can reach out, I would gladly add it. Yeah.
Okay.
But right now it's all driven on custom sentences, and these are not the sentences that you have to go in with the with the YAML code editor and stuff like that. This is just straight automations that you can do. So it's really easy for just about anyone, short of someone that might be their first day using Home Assistant. You know?
Can you actually, like, I'm interested, so I never use anything like browser mode. I don't even own a tablet, so all of these things is pretty new for me. Could you show one automation where you, like, the part where you actually display a screen or you like inject a screen to a tablet?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Give me just a second, I'll pull it up.
I saw a little bit earlier someone ask why you paused after you were doing your wake phrase. That I will not speak out loud to trigger your stuff. For a lot of people, they do it like naturally. They just pause. A lot of people who are using the voice assistant on Home Assistant do it because they're waiting for the response thing. But we have seen how fast it actually works. You don't have to pause as long as Donnie has been. So you don't have to wait for the trigger, the notification ding. You can pretty much go say your phrase and then go straight into your actual command.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It's almost like unconscious. Like, even if you create like a very, I remember having the question even with my like crappy project, like the walkie-talkie, etc. And it's just a LED that blinks, like, so I say, okay, Nabu, there is just a LED. And just what Missy said, like, you are waiting for the LED to turn on. Then you have your own reaction time before you actually speak the command. But just with even with just like a very simple project, like just having an LED that flashes when the command is ready to speak, you can speak faster than that. But you do have to pause. However, I just want to say, like, the wake word model we need a pause after the wake word to be able to detect it. Yep. But a very small one, like you do need a pause. Yeah.
So, Mike, from a technical perspective, you actually have to wait, right?
Yeah. So what's happening is there's a point in time where the wake word is detected, but where that actually happens is dependent on the model. So it could happen at the beginning where it reports it, or in the middle, or at the end. And so there needs to be a little bit of a buffer. I do try to keep enough audio right after to feed into the next stage, the speech to text. But if you go back too far, you run into the wake word, and so you'll get transcriptions like, Nabu, turn on the light, coming out instead of just turn on the light. So it's a tricky thing, and my bet is Amazon and others have very carefully tuned their models so that they always report exactly at the end where they are. So Donnie, you got?
Well, I will say also that you can do it faster, and there is a slight delay when you're using the method that I'm using to be able to get that feedback. With Stream Assist is what's running in the background, and it will detect, and then it will play the sound that says it's detecting, but it's already detecting. I can continue to speak, but I just intuitively wait until I hear that sound to make sure that it is listening, because it's not 100% as far as the accuracy in picking up the wake words, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's about probably 97% accurate, but I would prefer not to say it and nothing happened. I'd rather wait and then make sure that it was listening, and that's just the feedback. And there is a delay. That's where the onboard, on the device wake word would be faster in giving that feedback because of the lag in the back and forth between. Yeah.
Actually, I like the audio feedback, and a lot of folks from the Raspberry community also much preferred to have a beep, even if it was faster to not have a beep. It just this is that knowing that it is actually listening to me.
Yeah. So I'm sharing the thing. So this is one of the sentences. The question: will it rain today? Right. So when you say "will it rain," will it rain today? I have one for today, and then I also have one for tomorrow. Right. And maybe we could clean that up somehow too. And then I have a "then you do," and it says when is triggered by today. when condition when triggered by today, set the response to, of course, I've picked one that's a bit more complicated than maybe I should have, but
That's good.
this uses a template and it grabs the forecast for today, checks for the percent probability, and then it checks to see which percentage it is. I should have chosen an easy one. I'm sorry, but basically what this does is it's going to return, depending on the percentage, it'll say there's a 90% chance of rain today, so you might want to bring an umbrella, right? And then here I define where these, what the target device is. Like it determines who's calling this device, right? Which one of these three devices is being used, or which one in the group is being used. And I'm doing that by searching what was the last one that was called, which I guess there could be a condition where you have two people simultaneously making a call, but I don't know an easier way to do that with the way it stands now. So it sets these variables, and then you use browser mod. You tell it what path that you want to go to. We want to show the weather, and then you tell it the target device. You know, this may look a little complicated, but this is copy paste for each and every one. You know, I'm not doing anything special when it comes to that. If I would have just showed you the one that says where's the weather, it would basically pull the current temperature, pull the condition, and then this block, and then it shows the same thing. So hopefully that's not too cumbersome. I try to be explicit in the wiki as to the mindset, but that's basically what it is. You call a custom sentence, it figures out where you're calling from, it does the action, and then the other automations handle what's being displayed on the screen from that point on, after it gives you that feedback.
All right. Neat.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to, do we have other questions? No.
Seen
All
any
right.
others since that?
All right. So that was best voice experience. Thank you very much. We also have a lot of runner-ups for this category, which again, I will not go through all of them, but thank all of you for your hard work. There was actually some pretty funny one, like a food label printing solution or things like this. Some of them are actually very funny. Or like a dice activated voice assistant, which
That was fun.
even the contestant said like it's useless.
You roll a special Wi-Fi dice.
Yes,
die
you have to roll a 5 or a 6 to have the command that is done. If you roll less, then you don't have it like a RPG kind of.
If you play too much Baldur's Gate 3, this is for you. Right.
So it was pretty funny, yeah. Anyway, so the last one is the community choice. So this one is, I mean, pretty special because it's like the one that got the most votes by all of the everyone that voted more or less on the forum. And this is Home Assistant Visual Voice Assistant by Relu. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And where is Relu's screen? Here.
Hello again. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who voted my project and appreciated my idea. Please excuse my English. I hope you understand me. The idea of this project was from J-Lo when he introduced image to S3 box. And I say, why do not put GIFs instead of images? And I made this project, and the demo is a surprise for you guys. I hope I'm not offending anyone. If you consider it's too much, please stop me. So let's go. Let's start. I use an ASP home assistant. This is my ASP, and the Android tablet. And very important is browser mode integration, who I used to display the GIFs. Let's go. Jarvis,
How can assist you?
turn on garden lamp.
Turned on the switch.
Jarvis,
How can I help you?
turn off garden lamp.
Sorry, I am not aware of any device called Garden.
Jarvis, error.
Murphy's
When
Law.
green is waiting for recover from error. If not, I turn off wake word and turn on again. Jarvis,
How can assist you?
tell me who is the founder of Home Assistant?
The founder of Home Assistant is Paula Schoutzen.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Jarvis,
Yes, I am listening.
I used to talk to Paulus. Jarvis,
Yes, I am listening.
I used to talk to Paulus.
Done.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, Paulus.
Yes, I am listening.
Nice.
Tell me what Home Assistant is.
We're sorry, we made noise.
Okay, Paulus.
How can assist you?
Tell me what Home Assistant is.
Home Assistant declared 2023 to be the year of the voice, where the team set out to add local voice control capabilities to your smart home with Home Assistant in the name of privacy, and work continues on the implementation of new functionalities in Home Assistant.
Hey, I like that You're the Voice is front and center there. For what is Home
Okay,
Assistant?
Paulus.
Yes, I am listening.
Tell me who works the most on the implementation of voice assistant in Home Assistant.
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Actually, that's funnier than you might expect, right? 'Cause
Okay, Paulus.
Yes. Who did voice? Sorry, I don't speak voice.
Okay, Paulus. Okay, Paulus.
How can I help you?
Tell me who works the most on the implementation of voice assistant in Home Assistant.
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
No vrea.
That's okay. That's
Okay, Paulus. Okay, Paulus. Okay, Paulus.
How can I help you?
I used to talk to Mike.
Done.
oh boy.
Hey, Mike.
How can I assist you?
Tell me about voice assistants in Home Assistant.
Home Assistant declared 2023 to be Year of the Voice, where the team set out to add local voice control capabilities to your smart home with Home Assistant in the name of privacy, and work continues on the implementation of new functionalities in Home Assistant.
Hey,
Why did you
Mike.
care?
How can I assist you?
Tell me who works the most on the implementation of
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Yeah, that's a
must
tough one.
speak. Hey, Mike.
How can I assist you?
Tell me who works the most on the implementation of FSP satellites on Home Assistant.
Mike Hansen is the founder of Raspberry and the voice guy of Home Assistant.
Hey, Mike.
How can I assist you?
I used to talk to J-Lo.
Done.
Ready? J-Lo? J-Lo?
Je vous écoute.
Parlez en anglais, s'il vous plaît.
Désolé, je ne connais pas la pièce anglaise, s'il vous plaît.
J-Lo?
Comment puis-je vous aider?
Parlez en anglais, s'il vous plaît.
Done.
J-Lo?
How can I assist you?
Tell me about ASP project of Home Assistant.
ESP Home is an open-source project closely associated with Home Assistant that allows users to easily create custom firmware for ESP8266 and ESP32-based devices. This firmware enables these devices to be integrated seamlessly into the Home Assistant ecosystem, making them controllable and manageable through the Home Assistant interface. Voice satellites have also recently been implemented in ESP Home.
J-Lo?
Yes, I am listening.
I used to talk to Jarvis. J-Lo?
How can I help you?
I used to talk to Jarvis.
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
All
J-Lo?
right.
Yes, I am listening.
I used to talk to Jarvis. I
J-Lo's
must to
tired.
speak.
J-Lo's too
Much-
greedy. Wants
but I
you
think-
all to himself.
Yeah, I'm French, so I don't understand anything, right?
Jarvis? J-Lo?
How can I assist you?
I used to speak to Jarvis.
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Prea, Doamne.
No.
That's good.
Oh my god, I'm having a hard time talking. I laugh too much.
Wow.
This is amazing. Can we start asking questions, Relu?
No,
No.
I have more.
Oh no.
Okay. If you want have a Google display like this,
Ooh.
Romy,
Yes, I am listening.
turn on fireplace.
Turned on the switch.
Romy,
How can I assist you?
turn on garden lamp.
Turned on the switch.
Okay, this is Google display, and they have more. Two assistants, two languages, one tablet. Sheila,
Cum pot să te asist?
oprește șemineul.
Am oprit șemineul.
Jarvis,
Yes, I am listening.
turn on fireplace. Jarvis,
How can I help you?
turn on fireplace.
Turned on the switch.
Cool.
How is make it? With Stream Assist integration, I modified for GIFs and custom responses. I use RTP mic for streaming audio from Android tablet. You can use Fuel Kiosk bar browser or Home Assistant application. And of course, browser mode integration. where you can set here browser ID is very important. Now we go to Home Assistant. I would change this display. Yes, and I open a browser. Reason share screen. Okay. In Home Assistant, we go to ASP Home interface, and these are satellites. This is for Google, and this is for Android display. On this, on substations, a lot substations, we have GIFs deal, very important, a silent sound, assistants, you name how you like. For each assistant language, and these custom responses. On wake word detected, here, I introduce a script execute is button here to choose assistant GIFs and responses, and here is selector. Here is a mute switch, a real mute switch. I make it on my satellite on wiring from left-right pin of microphone to GPO 17. And here is Google speaker status, a switch I used for Google speakers chime sound to delay.
So when you do the demo, when you say like when you ask the assistant to change assistant, like when you say like, "Hey Mike, I want to speak to JLo,"
I use the selector.
Yes, I am listening.
Oh, sorry. So it's basically just like what do you do with the selector? You change the pipeline on Home Assistant?
Yes. This is the code. On wake-word detected, here is media player service play media with this extra for Google display, and here is browser mode pop-up. On settings integration, we go to our satellites. Here we have this selector for assistants, and this is for pipeline. This is Google speaker status and mute switch. I make an automation to change simultaneously assistant and pipeline. This is how assistants are changed.
And at the end, when you were able to wake two assistants at the same time with two different languages, like Sheila and Jarvis, how was this working?
Different pipelines. These are we can choose different pipelines with different languages and different custom responses. It's very easy. And Stream Assist integration.
Yeah, I've noticed we got Stream Assist in this project and in Donnie's. Seems like
Yes,
maybe
yes,
there's some.
yes. It's the same integration, but I made some modifications here. This is IP of tablet. Media player must to be from browser mode and browser mode ID. Service TTC service, TTC language, custom random responses, and path to GIFs. And here is pipeline.
Okay.
On Stream Assist integration, I have a problem. It works with Android tablets because microphones for Android tablets do not record the responses. But I use another speaker. For example, Google display with IP camera do not work. It's very important to be a delay between wake word detected and listening for not record these responses.
I see.
All right. I guess we can stop here, Relu, for the demo. That was a pretty long demo.
That was great, though.
Yes, it was very nice. Let me just see if we have like any question on the chat.
Did ask, can one device handle multiple wake words before he dropped out?
Yeah, that was...
Just in this way, with two different satellites. Here I used an ASP Home satellite and Visual Stream Assist integration on the same tablet.
And the GIF that we have, the GIF that you display, like when the Jarvis or when Paulus is talking, they are like, how do you generate them? Do you generate them before, right?
The GIFs I generated on the online platform for Talking Photo.
Okay.
And in GIMP application, I make transparent background.
It's very interesting because which makes me think that it's more than enough, because I was under the impression that the mouse was actually synced with the sound. And I remember, Mike, you have a specific word for that. Like, I don't remember the word, but
Visines, they call them.
Yeah,
it just simulate speaking. There are two GIFs, one for speaking and one for listening. But just simulate speaking. It's not synchronized perfectly.
Oh, it's nice actually. It's more than enough actually. It's really cool. All right. I think that's about it. I saw this comment, like, this would rock on the box. I think we already said it, like, when we presented the images, but I think that we can forget the GIF on the S3 box.
For now, the display driver is much too slow currently, but that's not a forever thing. If you've ever played with the default firmware on one of these, you know it can do a high refresh rate, but it needs a special driver.
Yeah. So for now on the box, I think we are pushing the boundaries of the box with the images and the text. Now we have the text displayed, but honestly, like I would love to have like a full character like Relu just showed like on my box. Like that would be amazing. Like I would love it.
Well, what's funny is what Donnie showed this $40 tablet that's actually cheaper than one of these boxes, and for the next 10 minutes is in stock.
Yes.
Everyone's gonna go buy them. All 3,000 people who's watching us now.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if you spotted, but I mean, Lando had to leave because he was actually working. So
hopefully he's still working tomorrow.
Yes. So Lando left. So yeah, that was like that was the end, more or less, like the end of the winners, the winners demos. I still want to have like I still have a few questions in stock for the remaining winners because Lando just left, and that will be the end. Like just like a nice conversation about voice, and then we will end the stream a bit in advance. Actually, like I'm glad. I was thinking that this one will be long, but for now we have a bit of time, which is great. Okay, like anyone that wants to answer, please do. I just want to understand, like, why did you? What pushed you to build on voice? Like, why did you do that? I see Mike's muting.
I'll take this one because really we have a device that we use, but we can't control it. You know, and it's the whole Home Assistant. You know, the reason you use Home Assistant is because you have something that you want to use with something else or make it do something different, but you're tied and you can't. Well, now you can. You know, with the advancements with voice and all of these, you know, everyone else's work, you can grab pieces here and there and piece it together and make it do what you want. Now, I made mine look pretty much exactly like the device that I want, you know, the family to be able to be familiar with, but it doesn't keep other people from customizing that to fit their needs, or that we can add additional stuff to it. So really that was what drove me, was basically that it would never show me the clock, and it was always showing me something that I didn't want to see. And I knew that there would be another way. And with these advancements, we were able to do these things, and that's a testament to what Home Assistant is and what it's become, and it's fantastic.
Awesome.
I saw one question popping up. I just want to answer it. Actually, we learned a ton during this contest as voice assistant team. The S3 box tramware already got updated based on one of the entry of the contest, not a winner but a runner-up. The display of the text is actually part of this contest, and we are. I mean, we still at some point want to have some kind of device that would be our voice assistant. We are thinking about a screen. We are thinking about having no screen. We don't know yet. The visual assist from Donnie is actually super interesting because it's trying to solve kind of the same answers. What else did we learn? We learned many things. We have one of the runner-up did a implementation of timers. We are working on timers right now. It was announced on the roadmap, the last chapter. So it's actually interesting to see how other people are actually thinking about the same problem. So we are learning a ton from this contest.
Mm-hmm. Who else wants to talk about why they built what they built? I saw Relu, you were gonna say something.
Well, you know, I came from OpenHub and started using Home Assistant last year in October, and yeah, the open up so many possibilities. What you can do with ESP Home, and friend of mine, a coworker of mine, he told me to print Bender, and then everything came together, you know. So yeah, basically I did what I did just because I can.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good reason. It's a good first reason, I would say.
Yeah, in many ways, I'd say ESP Home is the star of the show. for all this. It's
Yeah.
it's made so much possible so quickly for people.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
basically stole a year's worth of the developers' time to get voice last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know that
so
we
many.
are.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Ari. Go ahead.
I've got so many sensors now that are based on ESP Home, like even the remote in my remote garden. I got an AppEver solar thingy, and I can see the battery state from over here. So it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know we are like at the end of a stream, but just for those who don't know, ESPOM is a firmware that is used to program on these kind of chips, which are called ESP32 boards, or actually or ESP8266, or another one that is from the Raspberry Pi family that I don't remember the name. And the power of ESPOM is that you declare the components that you want to use, and the whole compilation of the code is done automatically without you having to do it. So you can say like, I want a light, I want a voice assistant, I want a microphone, I want a speaker. For example, Bender has light, and I guess a presence sensor, some kind of presence sensor for like when you enter the room. And you pull together by just declaring things in YAML, and it's actually super easy to do. And you build your own device, so which is what Ari did. I just wanted to, because we have been talking about ESPOM, but we never really explained what it was.
Yeah.
What was like? Sorry, a second question for anyone. What was complex or missing? Like, where did you struggle on the voice part? I mean.
I hate to keep answering questions, but the hardest part for me was really determining what device was being triggered and how to tie all that stuff together. And the way that I came up with it works, but that's what I was saying before. It's probably not perfect when it comes to that. So if we had something that would allow us an event that would show up so that we knew what was going on, I think that would make life a whole lot easier. Another thing that I struggled with, and Mike gave me a fix for it just the other day, is currently when the response comes back, it will step on whatever media is playing. So if I'm playing a song and it says done or turn on the lights, that's it for the song, you know. So I know there's work that's going to be put into text-to-speech to be able to use the broadcast, but as it stands now, I can start music, but if it says the washer's done, the music stops. So I'll have to figure out ways to work around that. But you know, the shortcomings are very minor when it comes to the ability to do what we can do. But that's a couple of things that I could see could be improved, and it's good to know that folks are already working on that.
Yeah, the media player stuff, there needs to be some kind of meta process that, you know, can take something off the queue, put something on and put it back, or flip it, or something like that. And maybe, like with many things in Home Assistant, it probably already exists on some forum thread somewhere.
Yeah.
Just haven't found it. It does sound like, too, that so finding out which device, maybe this is not a feature currently of Stream Assist. I haven't looked too deeply into their stuff yet. But maybe this is something we need to consider, as having native support for an RTP or RTSP stream, because I know a lot of people want to do this with security cameras, for example. They want to stream back audio and have voice assistants. So that might be something to look into as well to make it a little easier. Anyone else want to talk about complexity?
Well, the only thing that I couldn't get running was the media player component for the ESP Home, because I tried to send the snippets from Futurama directly via Home Assistant, and that didn't work as good as I had planned. So I had to go with the DF Player Mini for that.
I see.
But it would be nice, especially if, you know, in the future we may be able to make a TTS voice for John DiMaggio or something.
Mm-hmm.
For like for at least for me, but I think Mike is also aligned. The media player, it has to be somewhere in the picture of ESPOM at the end. because a voice assistant at some point is going to also become like I would like our voice assistant to be like a two-way communication device. Today, like you talk to your voice assistant, you wake it up. As soon as we have timers, it's kind of the opposite. So you wake it up like at some point you say like set a timer for 30 minutes, and 30 minutes later it's the opposite. It has to basically goes back and tells you something. So I would really like to have like a way to have a media player on ESPN at the same time than everything else, so that at least you can broadcast TTS things from Home Assistant, having notification, broadcast messages, etc. So I think we are close to that now. Like there are PRs open for having media players on ADF.
Yes, yeah, there are things. So this ADF and Arduino are two different frameworks that ESP Home is based on, and you can have a media player on one currently, but not another, and all the voice stuff is on that other.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not worth getting into the details, but it's something that is being worked on. Yeah. Raylo, did you have any complexities that you ran into?
My difficulty where I'm stuck is control of delay of listening between wake word detected and effectively listening. On the Raspberry Pi satellites and add-on assist microphone, I observe this is not happened. I introduced this custom responses to on Raspberry Pi and stream add-on assist microphone, and it works fine. And I don't know how to control this delay on Stream Assist integration or another satellite, like what I make to ESP Home satellite with mute switch. This helped me to realize this project to not record these responses on a request to Home Assistant to know understand what you answer to Home Assistant to do.
I see. So when it speaks back to you, to not record that.
Yes.
As well,
yes.
Yeah.
When you'll say yes, I'm listening. Home Assistant record this response.
Yeah. So yes, there's kind of we don't have a good way of doing that without hardware support at this point. So there are like the conference microphones, for example. A lot of them have echo cancellation, so they automatically remove their own recorded audio or their own speaker audio from the microphone. They deal with this in the hardware. And when you have, this box is capable of it in software, but we don't currently use that. So it is something that is possible, but you need the software support for it. That's what's missing, or the hardware support.
Yes.
So this is something we are very aware of, and we're looking into for our own satellite with extra hardware. Hopefully that we can do this. But yeah, there's a magic chip inside that speakerphone that's doing it. That's why.
And we want to continue conversation control.
Yes.
To start listening on the same device where is start.
Yes. So I'd like that and an extension. So I want to be able to announce something, and expect a response, or just start listening. All these things, and it's very close to possible. We got to prioritize things.
On Raspberry 2.5, I make this continue conversation. It have these options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Raspberry.
That. Yes.
Yeah, Raspberry had those things because it was all in one piece of software. This This has to communicate out to ESP home and tell it to start partway through a pipeline, basically.
Yes.
I think we have a PR open for continued conversation on the S3 box. I need to look into it. There is someone that made something about that.
Ah, okay.
Not like the real conversational aspect where you can ask questions, etc., but just being able to wake it up once, saying like, "Hey, wake word," and then you can speak, and then after the reply, there is a small delay where you can ask something else. You could say like, "Okay, wake word, turn off the bedroom light, open the shades, start the vacuum cleaner,
Yeah.
leaving," and then gone. And then if there is a silence at the end, it just goes back to sleep, which I think is pretty interesting. It's not exactly what we want. What we want, we would be able to have like a real conversation and being able to drill down on a specific comment. Like for example, set a timer for how long? 5 minutes. Okay, done. That would be like the dream, but I think it's actually a good start. I think I just need to look into the PR and see if we can integrate on it or not.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I think we're not too far from having something like that. There's some tricky software stuff with making it so that we can record and play at the same time, audio.
Yeah,
but I think we're close. But I always think we're close.
Okay, and the last question for me would be like, what are your hope for the future of voice? What do you really want to see on Home Assistant?
Well, so I think we already talked a little about it. Multiple wake words for one pipeline would be a nice thing to have.
Yeah. Or is this one wake word to do a single pipeline, or a wake word to select a pipeline?
One wake word to a single pipeline, I think.
Okay.
So, for example, like you would like to have like one wake word for example, one wake word for the German pipeline, one wake word for the English pipeline.
No, like so that I could say hey bender or a K bender or just bender and all the three options, so that I would have all the three options. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that one's easier than the
than
the different. But that's another requested feature is different wake words to start a pipeline in a different language. So if you're a multi-language household, you can use the wake word to differentiate. Ideally, it would just be able to figure it out, but we are like a couple people, not a multi-billion-dollar company.
And for the
I think with what Redo did, you just need to learn the one sentence in the specific language to change the voice assistant, and then you could change the pipeline. Maybe that would work for some people.
That's kind of, I mean, JLo did that with his walkie-talkie, right? Something kind of.
I cheated because on my walkie-talkie I had a button that I was not using, so this button was cycling through pipelines.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Right, so because it's very easy, right? At the beginning, I wanted to do something else, which I never did. Was I wanted to have an analog phone where I was able to click on the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to say like I'm going to talk to Jarvis, etc. But I never got the courage of stripping down the analog phone, putting an ESP board inside just to be able to do the numbers. So I used the walkie-talkie. But I think to come back to the multiple wake word, it's funny because we are advancing on two branches now, but one of them is going to cause difficulty is the fact that we have wake word on Home Assistant and we have wake word on device now, like the S3 board, sorry, the S3 box, and actually all of the S3 board family are now able to have the wake word on device. And I think that having multiple wake word on Home Assistant is fine because we have a lot of headroom in terms of power, but having multiple wake word on the S3 box may be a bit more complex. I think.
I think there's enough room for at least two.
Yeah.
What we've seen so far.
Which would be nice already.
Yeah. Who else? What do you guys want to see in the future?
AI.
Well, so you're in luck. We've been working on that. We could put an Olama integration in the last release of Home Assistant, and we're actually we've been working a bit with NVIDIA. So they have these Jetson boxes, right? These are fairly expensive devices with graphics, GPUs on them, and so they have an AI research lab around this, and it's kind of an extended lab in that they have a number of folks from out in academia and industry joined, and so we're a part of that and working with them to see what sorts of things we can do with local AI. I think, there's a lot of interesting stuff to do there, and I think probably the coolest thing is that when it's local and you're not paying per API call, you can do a lot more interesting things if you can make 1,000 API calls than you can if you can make 10, right?
If Nabukasa can offer AI in the same way with speech to text, text to speech in the subtraction.
That would be cool. We're going through Azure currently, right? So
we are already thinking about it, not working on it at all, but we are thinking about it. In fact, today we are thinking about how AI is going to fit in the whole thing, because you have voice, you have AI, and AI is bigger than voice. We could do things with AI that we are not doing with voice. We could do things with AI that we are doing with voice. For example, replacing a bit our sentences that are a bit strict today with some kind of AI that understand intent and call services and things like this. And we are trying to understand a bit how all of the things are working, piecing together. And for now, we are just releasing some bricks, for example, the Olama integration, local AI, etc. But it's interesting. It's also very complex to understand how everything is going to fit together, but it's interesting.
I'll just say that, and this is not specific, but I would really like to see more people trying voice and understanding, it's not that hard to give it a whirl. I mean, I bought this little, $15 S3 box when the first day that you guys announced it, and you plug it in. I mean, it's really cool what Harry and Raylu are doing with ESP Home and stuff, but it's the barrier to entry is not that great when it comes to trying these. I mean, you could use a regular microphone connected to your speaker and try out voice and get your feet under you. It's not as complicated as some of the things that folks have made for the contest to make it do simple things, and just give it a shot, and you'll probably like it and want to dig in deeper and do some of these more complicated things too.
I think the S3 box may be the simplest way to start. There is a big problem with the S3 box, I think, still today, which is the fact that it's difficult to find. Still, right? Like, it's still difficult to find.
Yeah.
But
so the one Donnie's holding, that's the M5 Atom Echo Smart Speaker Development Kit.
Yeah,
which is a mouthful. That one's actually from a company from M5 Stack.
Yeah.
I just got this the other day. I haven't got it to work yet, but they also make something called the Core S3, which is this cool little thing that like has a wall mount or something on the back. But I haven't got it to work just yet. But there are other options coming to the market with the S3 and like these all-in-one integrated screens and speakers. So maybe that will give some breathing room for people wanting to try these different things. We just have to keep up with the ESP Home configs to make sure they work.
Yeah. For now, we support the config for the Atom M5 stack. However, we said it every time we are talking about this device. This is a very nice way to start, but it's not going to be the voice assistant you put in your living room. The microphone is pretty weak, and also the speaker is pretty weak, but honestly, like for a desk, it's actually working fine, or just to test. The S3 box, which is the one that Mike was showing, is already much more, I would say, production ready. I have them set up, for example, on my small spaces, like an office and a bedroom. I have 3 of them, actually, one in each of the bedroom, sorry. For the living room, I have something a bit bigger, like Wyoming satellite, but the S3 box is super simple to set up. Now we can configure it, etc. We can personalize pictures. That would be the simplest way to start, I think. Yeah. However, like if you ask me what I wish the most, would be that it's even simpler to start. That would be my wish, like to be able to just say like, buy a box and plug it to the power and speak to it. That would be my dream, right?
That's the dream, right? We want that to actually be where we go with our voice assistant eventually. Like that's what everybody wants when you buy a new smart home solution and you want to plug it in and you want to use it like your Google Home or Alexa devices. So yeah, I can't wait for us to get there. Really,
But
I'm gonna more with making my own stuff with the Olema integration. I'm gonna build up my own little voice server for it on my PC.
Cool.
And one of the things I want to do is actually document everything I'm doing because to Donnie's point, I'm technical, but I am not like as technical as you guys with writing out the code and like getting in the devices hands-on stuff like that. So I plan on documenting what I go through and sharing it with the community overall so they could see A, what I did, B, the struggles I had. And I'm Mike, by the way, I'm still stuck on trying to get my Home Assistant device or instance to recognize my device. So
Oh, the microphone. Yeah, the speakerphone.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is like this almost the exact same model I have, but it has Bluetooth on it, and for some reason it's different enough. Like this is the fun with hardware that we don't control. Obviously, you have to adapt to it and figure out all this stuff.
Yep.
I see in the comments someone is saying they're disappointed with the M5 Echo. So to this point, reliability issues are definitely a thing here. Like this, I don't want to ever give the impression to people that this is as smooth as one of the big companies' devices or anything like that. Things are always being worked through, but I think so my wish would be to have that reliability there for people. But I will say, at least what I like here with Nabucasa and with Home Assistant is that there is at least the possibility for it to be fixed by other people and to be changed. With some of these other devices, like Donnie's, I'm assuming he's referring to the Echo Shows. It's showing you ads. It won't show your clock. Sorry, that's the end of the conversation, and not here. So.
I think that if we actually talk about the reliability, we had some like a voice assistant hanging in the past, like stopping that is stopped working. I think it's still happening. It's happening way less, and it's becoming it's almost becoming reliable, I would say. But Mike is right. Like we still have issues. But I mean, it's becoming better and better. I actually I'm very happy that I actually ditched my Alexa this week. Awesome. Finally, I was using it for timers, and I'm just thinking what, a phone for timer is fine. I don't need a box just for timers, so I'm just going to ditch it, and I'm actually fine. Sometimes when I have to say 3 times the command and I just get sorry I couldn't understand, I'm like, oh damn, I should not have thrown it away, but actually I don't care. Like it's good enough for me, so I throw it away.
Yeah, and timers are next on my list. So
yes, exactly. Yes. I saw 2 comments. Actually, maybe I can highlight it. Not extreme. Not exactly answering this question. Like, will I be a round 2 of this video? I don't know. But we don't want to make this contest a singular event. We are thinking about having more contests, but I have to say, I think it will be on other topics. So I don't know if there will be a round 2 of voice assistants. Maybe when we will be at chapter 12, right? Right now we are at chapter 6. So maybe at chapter 12 we will do another contest. But we want to do. And another comment says, I wish it was an annual event. I would say I think it will be more than an annual event. We want to do more contests on different topics that revolve around Home Assistant, because it's just amazing, and we learn a lot actually. So
if it's a swimsuit contest, I'm going to need to get a treadmill. So just let me know.
Yeah, one of the things that I really want to do is not necessarily contests, but more like some content creators that I watch actually for their Patreons do themes. So you do builds around specific themes that you, specifically it's crafting. So, but in this instance, we could do hey, let's tackle some random home solution that we want to see solutions for. And then kind of have a 3-month like quarter process so that we can give people the time to actually develop their stuff and get things going, and then having them just share their stuff. It's just like show off stuff, not necessarily contests overall, but like just getting the community involved in making honestly cool shit for everybody.
There was a comment quite a while ago that was asking, could you have a clap for a wake word? Like the old clappers, that used to, and something I'd love to have a community focused event around would be thinking about like out of the box ideas for waking up devices and stuff, like, because we're really emulating the current, big companies' modes of doing things, and we don't have to. We have ESP Home. We have an infinite way of waking devices up or interacting with them, and maybe there could be more interesting ways. So I'd love to hear more.
I mean, I'm not making this up because I know competitors are doing it, but for example, some of us that have like more complex setup, for example, I mean, Donnie actually showed that we could have, for example, notification when the washing machine is over. But in order to do that, you need, well, either you need a smart washing machine, and nobody has that, or you need to have like a power plug, something that is able to measure when like the device is actually drawing power, etc., or not. Another way to solve that, which you could think is actually pretty scrappy, but it's actually very smart, would be that a voice assistant is able to detect beeps. And you are able to say like, oh, that beep is the oven, and this one is the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to get an event that says like, hey, the dishwasher just rang. There is a lot of competitors doing that. There is also an accessibility problem out of it. For example, being able to hear your doorbell when you have issues hearing. Apple is doing that. Like even on your phone, you are able to have an accessibility settings that says like, I want to get a notification when you hear door knocks, for example, because you have trouble hearing door knocks. All of these things are very interesting to get. That would be nice. That would be nice to allow people to do that without having to plug power plugs everywhere and buy them. It's a pretty expensive setup when you want to have notification for these kind of things. It's pretty expensive.
I'm sure too. You could set up a wake word for your pet. When they bark, it does something. I think
that's for Lando, right? That's for Lando.
That's right. Could call it voice after bark. Sorry, I got terrible dad jokes.
All right. I mean, it's been 2 hours, so I guess if there is no more like a last comment, I guess we can stop there. Miss your mic. Do you want to ask a last question?
No, I want to say thank you to everyone who entered the contest and everyone who's contributed. Over the past year, the Year of Voice was awesome. I'm happy to still be here for what I'm now calling the Decade of Voice, just to give myself, some good runway here. And so thank you so much to the community for their contributions, to the ESP Home developers for taking a whole year to build up what we have today, and to the contest winners here. Congratulations, you guys did an awesome job, and really appreciate you coming on the stream and taking the time, especially during work days.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for coming on the stream. It's not easy, right? I mean, so that's cool.
That's the same thing. Just thanks for contributing to Home Assistant, honestly, and making this really cool stuff that we actually got to highlight. And Relu, thank you for the surprise. It's actually cracked me up. I love seeing all of the faces for it. I'm gonna make sure if Paulus was not watching, he sees that. And I'm probably going to take a snippet and post that specifically on social. It's just beautiful. So thank you so much. Also, if you guys want to support us, getting a Home Assistant Cloud subscription helps JLo, Mike, and myself actually have a job and continue doing these awesome things. So if you don't have a cloud subscription, you don't really have a need for it, that's the best way to still give us the support that we want. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to the guys for joining us, the community watching us, and JLo for organizing the whole thing in the first place.
Then you're welcome. I didn't have the hardest job there, so all right. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Bye.